going to want to do is to organize the things that you've collected for your junk journal. So I have envelopes that I saved from stamps. This was an invoice from one of my favorite people that sells on Instagram, Paper Lab NYC. You definitely want to check her out. This is a marriage license that my sister printed off for our grandparents. It came from Ancestry.com. I have this old stamp booklet that I found, I think at an estate sale before all this happened, but I thought I'd throw that in the pile. This is just an old piece of paper that I thought was cool. So I'm just going to start putting it in piles. And a business card. This is from another one of the Instagram sellers I follow, Donkey Journals. She's great. Definitely check out, if you're looking for any type of paper ephemera, Instagram is an awesome place to start. This is from redleadpaperworks.com. She has some amazing stamps too. So if you really get into this, you definitely want to check that out. These are 2 envelopes that we got at an estate sale prior to this shutdown. Here's a piece of paper that I just randomly stamped on and wrote some stuff on with a typewriter. So I kept that because I thought that was kind of cool. Here's a card from one of my friends. So I'm going to put the cards over here in a pile. Just start making piles and getting things organized. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of have an organized mess here of all kinds of goodies that I can use for my junk journal. And probably what I'm going to do is make several signatures, is what they call it, or sections, because I've got way too much collected here, I think, to probably put in one journal. And this was a journal that I started when I was at school because we were doing junk journaling after school. So I think I'm going to use this one as an example for you guys of how to put these together. And then I will make another one with some of the stuff I have here and just do a couple different segments. Then once I have the signatures done, I might put them all into one quarantine junk journal. So stay tuned, because I think this is going to need more than one video. I have a lot of really cool stuff and some friends that sent me some awesome stuff. Now that you have everything organized, I'm going to talk briefly real quick about some supplies that you're going to need. You definitely need some glue. I am a big advocate for using what you have on hand. I'm trying to use the rest of this. This is okay. Sometimes it doesn't stick really well on some surfaces, so I have these as backup as well. So just use whatever you have on hand. You could also use some washi tape. These are some rolls that I got from my awesome friend in New York at Paper Lab NYC. She's great, and you gotta check her out on Instagram. I'll put a link in the comments below. This one I got from wish.com. Takes forever to come, but 2 months later you have your washi tape. So if you don't want to wait 2 months, you can grab some from one of her sales, or you can also get some at Hobby Lobby or something like that. Any of the craft stores will have washi tape. I'm kind of more along the lines of I like vintage looking washi tape, but they have all kinds for all different types of projects. And then you're going to need something to bind your book. So I have different examples. Any kind of string will work. Basically, you can use yarn, you could use hemp cord, thread. Obviously, this is a little bit thinner, so I would have to layer that quite a bit. Embroidery thread, I'm not sure what this is called, maybe some kind of cording or something. This is actually what I'm going to use today. And then if you feel so inclined, you can get a bookbinding kit on Amazon, and they have actually in the kit some wax thread. That this is actually what professionals would use, but you don't necessarily have to have that. The one cool tool that's in here is called an awl, and it's really easy to poke the holes for the binding, so that's why I love this. They also have some needles in there for you. If you don't have one of these though, you can just grab some needles and use the needles to poke through the paper. You could also get anything that's pointy. I've used a tweezers before when I didn't have anything else handy. And you will need a scissors. So here's just some things to grab around the house, and then come on back and we will start your junk journal. So the first thing you want to do is find something that's kind of like cardboardy, something in your collection that you have kept that would be good enough for a cover. So For example, this was an envelope that I got Paribu Press photos in. If you have not tried them and you need to print photos, Paribu Press is awesome. They're the best. And I love the way that they package their stuff, clearly because I kept it. So that was a good, you can see the thickness, that was a good cover. You could also use, this is a Chewy's bag that I got when I was out and about one day. I got to go, so you could use something like that. You could use an old envelope. Anything that you have in your stash that is a little bit thicker, and that's what you're going to want to start with. So get your cover and figure out what size. Now the cool thing about junk journals is that it can look any way you want. So you see here that some of these pages are like sticking out from my cover. That part doesn't matter. You can absolutely do that. So grab your cover and then just start collecting some of the things that you have and folding it. So I'm going to keep this as one signature, and then I want to save this for possibly my cover for the whole deal. Let's see, there was a bag here. Okay, so this is an anthropology bag that I got before the shutdown, you know, when times were good and we were able to get out. And you can notice it's very small because anthropology is expensive. So every time I go there, I just get something small usually. But I'm going to use this for my cover for this signature. I had planned on filming this in the art studio, but it's kind of a mess right now. So I brought it out into the kitchen. All right, so I want this to be my cover. This can be the crease that I'm using. And then the back of this needs to be the same, you know, like when I fold it, it needs to come over here and line up with this. So I'm gonna cut it probably about right here. That's the side I want. Yeah, oh, it's a shame to cut that. Oh, well, I'll save it for something else. The cool thing about junk journals is that you can use everything. And it's funny, I was talking to a friend today who wants to make a junk journal out of the things when she travels. And I was telling her all the things that she could save, and she was like, what? I can use that, I can use that. She's like, so basically just save everything. I said, yes, save everything. Because you just never know when you're going to need to use it. Like, for example, this cardboard that just came out of the bottom of this bag, definitely going to save that. Because you just don't know. You might need it. You just might need it. All right, so I'm going to cut this side off. All right, so there's the cover of this signature that I'm going to use, and this will be the middle. So you have to keep in mind that this is where you're going to use your binding to bind it all together. So that's your main fold. So now I'm just going to start grabbing some things that I want to put in here. I'm going to start, let's see. This is a page that I inked, a Tim Holtz refill ink, and I can put that down in the description. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it at Hobby Lobby and, you know, all your craft stores. But I did that real quick just to kind of make that paper a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to put that in the front so that I can, you know, put a title here of what is in this part of the signature. And then I think I'm going to make this part into the stuff that, the cards that I got from people throughout this time. So one of the cards I got was from my aunt. So that definitely needs to go in here. But I love that, like, here you can see the letter and here you can see their names. So I want to keep that together. That might have to go in the middle because if I put it like this, then it's going to be separated with the pages. So I'm going to wait on that. This was an envelope. This is an envelope from one of my friends. So I'm going to put that in there. And let's see, I think I'm going to put it like this because I want to keep this pocket open so that I could stick something in that pocket. Here's another cool envelope that I got sometime, some art supplies in. So I'm going, you know, I don't want to cover that up. So I will glue it like this so that this flap, I'm keeping my middle here. I'm in the process of trying to find the best glue. I really like glue sticks, but sometimes they don't always stick very well or stay stuck. So that's the downfall with that. And this is just regular Elmer's glue. You could also use tacky glue. Whatever you got on hand, that's what I would say to use, because it's nice to use up what you have on hand. And then you can always explore other options later once you run out of that. So right now I'm trying to use up these glue sticks, and I'm going to glue that to that envelope right there. So when I bind this book, this will be the binding, this will be one page, and then this flips to the next page. This is a card I got from one of my students, and since he has it written all the way over on this side, I think I'm just gonna put it in there so that that other page can be used for something else. So I've got that in there. I got this card from one of my friends and a letter inside of it. So I think what I'm gonna do is just put this back in the card. It'll be like a little pocket. And then I want to find another envelope to attach that to. So I'm going to put this envelope on here like this, so that when you turn it, I'll have a pocket here that I can put something in, and then I'll also have this that I can pull that out easily. I have this really awesome page that a friend of mine in London sent me for my quarantine junk journal. Thank you so much, Helen. It's so cute. Can you see that picture right there? That is just so precious, and I just love it. What I asked my friends to do that were sending me a junk journal page is to tell me something that they're thankful about during this time, and she said, "The sun still shines even when clouds cover its light. In the UK, a street became an internet hit when they hosted an outdoor social distancing tea and chat to help a lonely neighbor. Isn't that amazing, Helen?" And she made this little page. So this is something that I don't want to glue to something, because obviously I have to be able to read the back. So I want to make a pocket for that. And I have this really cool bag that I think would be perfect for it. So I'm going to come over here and see what I can do with this bag. This is from another friend of mine from Instagram. I have really found an awesome tribe on Instagram, but she has just the best vintage stuff all the time, and she sent me this little package for my junk journal quarantine, and an awesome decorated envelope, and hers says, "It's been 6 weeks since a stay-at-home order was issued. I am thankful that my family is healthy and I get to spend more time with my baby. I am thankful for the technology that enables people to work from home. I pray that this pandemic will be over soon, but until then, I will stay home to help slow the spread. Stay safe, Anne." So thank you, Anne. This is so awesome. I love it. And her envelope is a perfect pocket. So what I need to do in order to use her envelope as a pocket is to glue something on this side so that I can do that. I have this bag right here, so I think I'm going to just cut a little strip over here. And when you're looking for things to use, it's really convenient to find things that are already folded and use that fold to your advantage. That's the perfect crease right there that I can use for that. And when I look at it, it doesn't cover very much, so I'm okay with that. My cousins in Ohio did an excellent job. I told them just grab a scrap piece of paper and write what you're thankful for. So Jeff says, "I am thankful that our family is safe and we are getting to spend time together, and pray we all are healthy in the end. Miss a lot of friends and family." And that was April 10th. And then this is just a game card, I guess. I'm not sure what game that's from, and it's from Maddie. She says, I miss going places with my friends and a lot of people I usually see every day that I don't see anymore. Yeah, I hear you on that one. This one is a cool drawing. Very nice. Love the robot. And he's got a letter on there. Zane says, I am thankful for the people at the stores risking their lives for us and helping the elderly. Oh, that is so sweet, Zane. I love it. I am also thankful for me being able to spend more time with my family. I'm also thankful I can communicate with my friends. I hope this ends soon. I honestly miss going to school, and I miss my friends. Probably by the time this is all over, I will be driving. Oh, that's funny. And hopefully I will have a job. Thank you everyone for risking their lives. I hope it doesn't last that long, Zane. I really do. This is a awesome grocery list that they used for the back of this. Aiden says, because I get to play with my friends, and I'm assuming Xbox is his favorite. And then this is from Erica, their mom, who's my cousin. And this is from McKenna. She says, I'm thankful for people helping us and keeping us safe from dying from the coronavirus. Thank you, hospitals and doctors, and I'm glad my friends and family are okay from the coronavirus. And I'm thankful that some people are safe, but I miss my family and friends, and I miss playing with them, but I am thankful. Then I can't read that part because of the markers, but she says, I hope people are okay for all the stuff and just rest and breathe air and be safe. Yes, I've been doing a lot of resting during this time. So this is awesome. I love this. All the different colors. Love it. She knows I like color. And then this is from their mom, Erica. Erica and Jeff were supposed to get married in May, but then the coronavirus happened, so they had to postpone. But she says, coronavirus pandemic has brought so much to light. Things I'm thankful for now more than ever. I'm thankful to still be working, but remain safe at home. I have a fantastic employer. Thankful for my friends, family, and all those saving those who have coronavirus. I'm thankful for God and his son and for his kind protection. And she said, one major thing is this man right here. So she's calling you out, Jeff. She loves you. The love he has shown, the calm in my storm, then my family, my kids, and get-togethers, our moments, our hugs, our laughs. I'm thankful to wake up breathing healthy as well as my kids, and I pray it continues. So that is my cousin's family there, and I want to keep all of these things together. So I think I'm going to do a little pocket for them as well, kind of like what I did for Anne's stuff. This would kind of be a cool pocket for their stuff, but it's cut here on the end, so I'm going to grab some washi tape and fix that problem. As you start to junk journal, you'll kind of find your style, but I tend to like things that are like vintagey. So that will be an awesome pocket for all of their treasures. The only thing is I need a little tab on that. I have another really, really great card from a friend of mine. She got this for me for my birthday. So I definitely want that to go in there, but I need something to attach it to. Paper that's some packaging. I'm not really sure where that came from, but I think that will be perfect to attach that. So I'm going to use this washi tape again, if I can get it off of here. I can use glue though too if you don't have any washi tape. You could use regular tape. All right, there we go. So now I've got that pocket, and I've even created a pocket right here in case I have something little. Oh, I do. This is something that a friend made for me, so I'm going to put that in that little pocket. That looks good. All right, so we've got a pretty good junk journal going here. I'm going to show you how to do the signature in case you're ready to finish your junk journal. If you want to keep adding some things in, be my guest. If you're like me and have collected a ton of things, you might want to make a couple of different signatures. That would be fine too. But this one is pretty full. You can see that that's pretty full right now. I'll probably still add a couple more things, but let's go for poking the holes and getting that signature going. One last thing I forgot to show you. When I was asking for people to send me things, my mom made this out of an envelope that she got from junk mail. You could never even tell that that was from junk mail because of all the goodies she's put on it. This is the Distress Ink from Tim Holtz. That is really awesome, and I'll show you that in a video to come because it makes things look older. So one of the things she's thankful for is thankful for my 2 beautiful daughters. Aw, Mom, you're the best. Love her. So anyway, what's really cool about this is that you don't even know that this is a crappy old envelope because of the way that she decorated it and put all these things. She said, leftover Easter candy. Oh yes, thankful for that too. Another thing that my mom does is these little boho beads. Aren't those the cutest? I haven't even made those yet. She's one-upping me on that. The bright Texas sun. Yes, we are definitely thankful for that. And these are her dogs, or her grandbabies, her furry friends. Thankful for a husband that still loves me after 24 years. That's pretty awesome. And her and my stepdad ride horses, so that's what the little horse thing is. So very cool, Mom. I just absolutely love this. I'm going to have to make a pocket for it because it's just awesome. Maybe I could put it, no, it's a little bit too tall for that. So I'll make a different pocket for that. And in my bookbinding kit, I have this thing, I think this is called an awl, and it has like a point here. Once again, when I first started, I didn't have one of these, so I just used a tweezers, which you can absolutely use like a pointy tweezers to poke your hole. You can also use a big needle, so I had these needles, and I used one of these bigger ones to poke my holes. So anything that you can find that's pointy, maybe go out in the garage and see if you can find something pointy. It can be bigger than this, but you don't want it to be too much bigger than this. Maybe like the size of the end of the scissors, that would be okay. But it kind of just depends on what kind of thread you're using. Clearly, if you're going to use something thick like yarn, then you can have your hole bigger. And then what you're going to do is start poking your holes in here. Now, one thing that you want to keep track of is the fact that this is smaller, obviously, than that. So I need to make sure that when I'm binding it, I have some thread that's going through here and probably all the way to here. So for this one, I might put 2 holes in here like this, and that's going to extend to all the pages behind here, but then I'm also going to have some holes up here. And there's a really cool thing that you can buy on Amazon that helps guide where you poke your holes. I'm kind of a willy-nilly person. You know, if you know me at all, you know that I'm not very planned out most of the time, and I kind of just do things spur of the moment. So I just tend to go in here and start poking holes. Because here's the thing, it's a junk journal, so if you poke in the wrong spot, you can always re-poke the holes later. So I do 1 page at a time just because I like to make it easy on myself and not have too much thickness in there. I have all my holes in there now, and the easiest way to do it would be with a needle. So if you have a bookbinding kit, you'll have needles in here like this. If you don't have a kit, you can use just regular needles, that's fine. And if you don't have a needle, then just make your hole a little bit bigger, and then that way you won't even need a needle to put your thread through. And I'm going to pull off quite a bit here because I want to make this binding good and tight. So I thought I was finished with putting stuff in the signature, but then I found a whole bunch more stuff. This is from my friend Catherine. She says that she's thankful for baby snuggles, and she's got an awesome note in there for me, as well as a poem from our favorite poet, Tyler Knott Gregson. My friend Heather also sent me one of those. We are big fans of his. Check him out on Instagram, Facebook. He's all over the place. He's the best. I'll put some links in the description below. Also, a postcard from my awesome friend Jake in Florida, in sunny Florida, so we got to get in there. And this is the kid that started it all. This is Caden, and he is amazing, just an awesome kid. He's the one that told his mom that he loved quarantine because he got to stay home and play with them all day. So he gave me this idea of making a journal about what we're thankful for during the quarantine. So he says, "Dear Journaling, I'm happy because I like to play soccer with mom and dad." So that's what he gets to do. So I definitely have to get him in there because he's what started it all. And then lovely Sarah Linden, who is Tyler Knott Gregson's wife, sent me this awesome signed poem of his, Definitely I Cherish It, and she says, "Sending you love and light." Really appreciate it, guys. We were a part of a group called Chasers of the Light that they did like a poetry class. It was so much fun. I put my aunt's letter, and then this is a pocket for my mom's awesome thing that she made me, and I made this pocket for another card. I also put Stephanie's great envelope in there with all of her goodies that she sent me. She sent me some little cards. This is going to be a very interactive junk journal, which I love about junk journals, by the way. It can be totally interactive, lots of things to pull in and out. So what I want to do is put his stuff in there. I just got to figure out how I want to do it. I definitely want to have his picture on there. Caden, you are so cute, kid. I love you. I haven't seen him in forever, and he's just getting so big. Like, stop growing up, please. All right, so we have this envelope that I can use. When I thought I was finished, I found a whole bunch more stuff. Love the do not bend on there. All right, so I'm going to get these taped or put together. And I'm going to use this as a pocket for Caden's letter, and then just keep this as another pocket. There's a lady that I order from on Instagram from Belgium, and she always sends these awesome envelopes with a whole bunch of cool stamps on them. So of course I save them because you can't get rid of those stamps. Those are just way cool. And I think I'm going to use this for a pocket. So you can see here, I mean, anything goes, literally. You can just do whatever you want. I think I'm gonna make this like a open flap like that. And this is so awesome because, I mean, Tyler signed it. How cool is that? Thank you, Tyler. Tyler's poetry has gotten me through some really rough times because it makes me remember that there is goodness in the world and that there's love, and his poems are just awesome. Definitely, if you've not checked him out, you need to. All right, so I think I'm gonna put that like that. And last but not least, I need to make a pocket for all of these wonderful goodies. So I think I used Catherine's envelope some other place. So I grabbed this envelope and put it on top of this brown paper so I'd have a place to sew it into the spine. So that's what I did there, and then I just folded that over, and now I have a nice little pocket for those goodies. Well, as it turns out, I decided to add a couple more things and just make this a giant junk journal because I found some more goodies and I just decided to add them in. So I wanted to show you a couple quick things that I added in. This paper source bag, love it. I just had this piece that was typed up, so I put that on there. And then a ledger page. These ledger pages came from Europe. They're awesome. And then I saved this out of the junk mail because I just thought it was pretty. And one year I went to go see it, so that's kind of like a memory. Didn't get to see it in 2020, but I have seen it before. And my Izzy Pops, this box is kind of giving me pain because it's not wanting to lay flat, but I love Izzy Pop. It has been one of the hardest things to find. And then I just kind of utilized these flaps here and added in this from the Paper NYC lab, and I got a little pocket here. And then this little note, this was from one of the typewriters I purchased the first time I typed on it. Pecan Creek Grill. If you live in Houston and you've not been there, definitely go. That's when I got to go one time. And I just left this flap on here. I might put something on there. And then just some more envelopes, that stamp, and a Chipotle bag. Of course, gotta have Chipotle. I've had it like twice, I think, since we went on shutdown. Not enough. And I love how this one says, please recycle this bag. Yeah, we will in our junk journal. So anyway, got some other stuff over here on this side. This is the typed script from the last YouTube video that I did about junk journaling. So I thought that'd be kind of fun because it's like the story behind all this. So I put that in there. I'm gonna set that over here. And then this pocket that I picked up from somewhere. Oh, this was an old letter that I typed on the back of about what it was like the 5th week of quarantine. So if you have a typewriter, definitely get that sucker out because it's a lot of fun. And if you don't have a typewriter and you live in Houston, let me know because we might have to have a typewriter date. I've got a couple because, you know, one's not enough. Letters, and then this gets back into the stuff that you've already seen. So now we're going to try to get this all bound together, which it's going to be interesting to do that because I got so much going on here. But I've got all my holes poked with the awl, and I'm going to grab my string and my needle that I'm using, and I've got a knot here at the end. So make sure that you knot it. I'm going to double knot that because it might need to be a little bit bigger so that it doesn't pull through the hole. So depending on how thin your string is, you definitely need to pay attention so that it doesn't go through the hole because that would be really aggravating if that happens. Okay, I think that'll do it. So I'm going to start with this hole. It's kind of like right in the middle. I'm going to test it out and make sure that my knot doesn't go through, because that would be annoying if it does. Okay, that's good. That's big enough. All right, so then I'm just gonna go through and grab each one of my papers. Come back here. And take it through the whole first hole of each one of the papers. Oh no, see? I know, it came out. So I'm going to have to make this knot a little bit bigger because as the paper stretches, and you know, depending on how many times the needle goes through, that might be a problem. The other thing that you could do, if you can't make the knot big enough, and I think this is what I'm going to do with this one, is I'm not going to pull it through all the way. And then I'll leave some in the middle here that we can tie. When we get to this end, we could tie those two together. So I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna grab a piece of washi tape. The coolest thing about washi tape is that it comes off really easily, so it won't ruin whatever you put it on. So I'm gonna just tape that there so that that doesn't pull through, and do it that way, since that knot is not wanting to participate in what I want it to do. Okay, as you can see, I have the first one through all of the sheets. So you want to try and get each one of the pieces through the first time around so that you don't have any that you're going to forget about. Also, note to self, if you have something that doesn't completely lay flat and that's going to bother you, don't put it in the middle, because this doesn't lay flat, but that's okay with me. Make sure that you have your string pulled all the way through. Otherwise, that's going to cause problems later. And check. Okay, let's see. That's not bad. Okay, and since we left some in the middle right here anyway, we can always tighten it up later as well, so you don't have to worry about that too much. All right, now, one thing that I noticed is that this was going to be my cover, but because I used some of these bigger bags, some of it's sticking out. So if you don't like that, you might want to move the cover down, but once again, I'm not super picky about that. All right, so my other hole is right here. So now what I'm going to do is go back through all of these papers to get back on the inside of that middle hole. All right, one thing I want to mention real quick is that not every layer will have every stitch. You can see that these papers are a little bit lower than the stitch that I made, and that's okay. So you don't have to have them in every stitch. Now that I have the second one done, I'm going to make sure and pull this tight through all of the layers. And then probably bring it down to about right here where I have another hole poked. Now, one thing I didn't do on these newer layers is I didn't poke any holes on some of the newer layers down here. If you want to wait and poke some of those later, that's completely fine. It's up to you, however you like to do it with your preference. So now I'm going to bring this down here and do that hole all the way through. And I'll be back. Making some progress here. I have it all the way through this hole. Now I need to go back through this hole, and then I will probably bring it back again and then put it back through one more time. So we're almost there. I'm gonna go ahead and do this hole, and then I will be back. All right, so I'm all the way through, and I checked to make sure that it was tight. One thing I do want to mention is if you bring your book to the edge of the table, it's easier to poke down through because you don't have the table blocking you. So that might be a way to do it. Now for this hole, I haven't awed all of the holes. So I'm going to do it at first with my needle, and then if I need to, I'll have the awl handy. But this needle is pretty sharp, so I think it will work for the most part. And I'm gonna put it about right there. And then I'm gonna do one more down here just to hold it tight, and I will be back to show you how to finish it off. I have it completely through on this last hole, and if you want to, if yours isn't as thick as mine, or if you just want to finish it off, what you can do is take this washi tape off and then tie these together. I'm going to go one more time through just because mine's so thick and I want it to really hold. So I'm just going to go through this same hole right here, and it should be relatively easy because there's already a hole punched there that I've gone through. And then I'm gonna run it back through. I think I will run it back through this hole right here. So the one thing that I wasn't paying attention to is that I went back up through the same hole that I wanted to tie it off at, because this is where we started. So I'm going to take it back through this one, and then bring it up through this one. And then when I bring it up through this one, I'll be able to tie it right here in the center, and that will make more sense than tying it right here in case it comes out of that hole. So that's what I'm gonna do real quick, and then I'll be back. And we did it. We have it up that hole right here. So now we're going to tie it off. What you wanna do is cut it off, leave yourself some string. I always leave myself a little bit more than what I need. And then gently pull this washi tape off. Comes off pretty good. And then you're just going to tie this down. You want to make sure that it's tight as possible and that you've got it pulled through. And I just tie it in a simple knot. If you want to, you could put it underneath this. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it and just put it underneath that to kind of hold it in place a little bit. I'm just gonna let that hang because it's a junk journal, so it can be junky, right? So we did it, guys. We've got our junk journal, and it doesn't completely close, but that's okay with me. I like it. And if you want yours to close, then just don't pack it so full. Like I said, I could have made like a couple of different ones and then kind of put them all together, but I kind of like it like this. So now if you haven't collected this much and you're like, mine's not that full, that's fine. Just make a skinnier one like this one, and then you can add to it later, or you can put 2 or 3 together. Like I could, if I wanted to, I could sew this one inside. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, in the next video, what I'll be doing is going through here and showing you how to add some more things to your junk journal. I would like to type some things up about, memories of the quarantine and how it's been and what I've been up to, and then maybe glue that in. So I always leave myself some blank pages to add in things as well. One last thing, if you're somebody that is thinking, wow, I really want my junk journal to close, then use a box similar to this. Of course, you'd have to wait until it's empty. This still has noodles in it. But this can be your binder. And so what you can do is bind together thin signatures like this, and then put it into the box. You can keep this like this, or you can decorate it. That's up to you. I think it'd be kind of cool kept like this, especially because I eat this during quarantine, and this is a quarantine journal. So that is also another option, and if I get some time, I'll definitely make a video on that. But basically what you do is you just would sew in your signatures in strips like this, and then that would allow it so that it's not quite so bulky if that's something that you don't want. And that is it for this episode, so join next time to watch about how to add things to your junk journal. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching.